Take your seats. Please settle for the beginning of the official ceremony for the groundbreaking of the AATC. السيدات والسادة الحضور، نذكركم بأننا سنبدأ خلال لحظات المراسم الرسمية لحفل إطلاق مركز التجارة الإفريقي والمركز الرئيسي لبنك أفركسم في العاصمة الجديدة. نرجو منكم اتخاذ مقاعدكم وأيضا الحصول على أجهزة الترجمة إذا كنتم تحبون. الترجمة متاحة بالعربية والإنجليزية. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who require translation into English, it's available and you can get hold of the translation devices through our ushers who are present in the hall. Just signal for them and they will come to your assistance. Or you can alternatively get your translation device from the back area. Thank you very much, and we appreciate your understanding and cooperation. By the way, I want to draw your attention that there is a physical model of the project at the left side of the stage, and it shows how magnificent and promising this project is. This is the biggest project by far in this category among the AATCs so far, and it will serve as a one-stop shop for trade, investment, and cooperation. And we really look forward to hearing more from our distinguished speakers during the official ceremony. Thanks again. السادة الحضور، نرجو منكم اتخاذ المقاعد. دولة رئيس الوزراء على وشك الدخول. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly take your seats. His Excellency the Prime Minister of Egypt is about to join us in the main hall. Thank you very much. ستكون هناك فرصة للحديث بعد هذا الجزء من الاحتفال، لذلك نرجو منكم على وجه السرعة الاستقرار في مقاعدكم. شكراً جزيلاً. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ample time for networking after the official ceremony. Please take your seats. Would you please put your mobile phones on silent or do not disturb so we can listen to the speakers well? Thank you very much. السيدات والسادة الحضور، نرجو منكم وضع الهواتف المحمولة على خاصية الصامت احتراما للمتحدثين وحتى يمكننا متابعة الكلمات الرئيسية. السيد الدكتور مصطفى مدبولي رئيس مجلس الوزراء. His Excellency Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, the Prime Minister of Egypt. Your Excellency, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, the Prime Minister of Egypt, Dr. George Elambi, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Afreximbank, Mr. Hassan Abdallah, Governor of the Central Bank of Egypt, Your Excellencies, the esteemed members of the Egyptian Cabinet, Your Excellency, Professor Benedict Orama, former President of Afreximbank, Board members, senior executive vice presidents, and executive vice presidents of Afreximbank, honored guests. Good afternoon and welcome to the official groundbreaking ceremony of the Afreximbank African Trade Centre and headquarters in Cairo. Today marks an important milestone for Afreximbank and for Africa's broader vision of deeper integration and stronger economic cooperation. This ceremony is not only about breaking ground, but about advancing a future of enhanced trade and connectivity between African countries and the Caribbean. The Afreximbank African Trade Centers, referred to as the AATCs, are strategic one-stop shops. From Barbados to Cairo, 9 AATCs will form the growing network linking Africa and the world. Here in the new capital, the multi-million-dollar AATC is the biggest center and will be delivered by Egyptian expertise and private sector and serve as an iconic multifunctional complex and the bank's new global headquarters, bringing together investors, policymakers, innovators, and partners in a unified ecosystem that fosters collaboration and drives new opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome and thank you for being part of this momentous occasion. To formally commence our ceremony, I'm honored to invite Mr. Dennis Denya, Senior Executive Vice President of Afreximbank, to deliver the welcome address.
Your Excellency, Dr. Mustafa, the Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt. Your Excellency, Mr. Hassan Abdallah, Deputy Prime Minister and Governor of the Central Bank of Egypt. Your Excellency, Dr. Labarang, Ambassador of the Cameroon to Egypt, and Dean of African Ambassadors Group in Cairo. Your Excellency, Dr. George Elombi, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Afreximbank. Honorable Ministers and members of the Egyptian government here present, members of the Board of African Export-Import Bank, Your Excellency, Professor Benedict Orama, our immediate past president of Afreximbank, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, colleagues, executive vice president, and leaders of the new administrative capital here present, good afternoon to you all. Just a few weeks ago, here in the new administrative capital of Egypt, we assembled to mark the orderly transition of leadership from Professor Benedict Orama to George Elombi. Today we are assembled here again to make another significant event, this time the commemoration of the commencement of construction of the Cairo Afreximbank African Trade Centre, AATC. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you all, Your Excellencies, board members, special guests, ladies and gentlemen, to this commemoration of the AATC groundbreaking ceremony on this day, the 13th of December, 2025. We are grateful for His Excellency, the Prime Minister, for sparing his time from his busy schedule to participate in this groundbreaking event. Your Excellency, your presence here today, alongside other Egyptian government officials, attests to the value the Egyptian government places on its relationship with Afreximbank and global Africa in general. I would also want to acknowledge the presence of our immediate past president, Professor Benedict Orama, under whose leadership the AATC was conceived and actualized. Thank you, President, for joining us this afternoon. And I don't believe that this function would have been possible without you. A special welcome to our esteemed partners, ambassadors, and members of the diplomatic corps for sacrificing your weekend to come and celebrate this milestone with us. We thank you for always supporting our initiatives. Your Excellencies, today we celebrate the launch of an ambitious initiative to establish a network of African trade centers headquartered here in the new administrative capital in Egypt. By virtue of it being the bank's headquarters, I believe that this building will be the largest, the best equipped, positioning Cairo and Egypt as the essential trade and investment gateway to Africa. I'm confident that it will significantly bridge the trade and market information gap between Egyptians and the wider global African business community. The location of this headquarters in the diplomatic district will further bolster collaboration with the diplomatic community and realize the Egyptian government's goal of making the new administrative capital the commercial, administrative, and financial hub for all of Africa and the model of global cities. When completed, this complex will bring together under one roof an ecosystem of trade-enabling services being offered by the Afreximbank Group and its partners. It will feature office workspace for Afreximbank and additional space for lease to other like-minded institutions. It will also feature a trade information center, a business center, an apart hotel, a conference center, and a dedicated exhibition center, among other offerings. All of this to be delivered within an ambitious 36-month timeline. As I close, I would like to inform you that our contractor, Hassan Alam Construction, is ready to deliver the project within budget and within timelines. Ladies and Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident of this because of their track record in delivering projects of this magnitude. I'm also assured that the Egyptian government will continue to support the project to move at the speed and efficiency that we have witnessed since the launch of the new administrative capital project itself, with swift approvals and coordination when necessary. Your Excellencies, your continued support will enable us to deliver the Trade Center to the highest global standards. Welcome to this event. Shukran Gazila.
Thank you, Mr. Danya, for laying the ground for this ceremony, and I'd like to draw the attention of all our guests that we do have a physical model of the magnificent project that we're about to groundbreak today. Thank you again. Well, these landmark projects extend from infrastructure to diplomacy and strengthening the ties between African nations. To reflect on this dimension, I'd like to invite His Excellency Dr. Mohamedou Labarang. He's the ambassador of Cameroon to Egypt and Dean of the African Ambassadors Group in Cairo to deliver his remarks. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Maghbouli, Your Excellencies Ministers, distinguished high-ranking officials of the Egyptian government, Mr. President Orama, former Chair and President of Afreximbank, the President of Afreximbank, Dr. Ilombi, Excellencies, colleagues, ambassadors, esteemed leaders of the business community, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to address you today in my capacity as Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in Cairo on the occasion of the official groundbreaking ceremony for the Afreximbank All-Africa Trade Centre within the new administrative capital of Egypt. This landmark event stands as a powerful testament of a vision, leadership, and strategic foresight. The new administrative capital is a dream brought to fruition, a bold and forward-looking response by the Egyptian government to the challenges of modern governance, urban expansion, digital transformation, and sustainable development. By investing decisively in the complete and smart capital, Egypt has firmly positioned itself amongst the leading nations shaping the cities and institutions of the future. Within the visionary setting, the establishment by Afreximbank of the All-Africa Trade Centre holds particular significance. Its presence here will decisively contribute to the futuristic architecture and smoothly integrate in the economic and commercial ecosystem of the new administrative capital, reinforcing its vocation as a regional and international hub for trade, investment, and economic diplomacy. I wish in this regard to commend the management of and the leadership of Afreximbank for the vision, for the wisdom and strategic clarity that guided the decision to establish a state-of-the-art complex of this nature. Conceived as an integrated one-stop hub, the center will play a pivotal role in strengthening, streamlining Pan-African and global trade, facilitating investment flows, enhancing market intelligence, and supporting the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. This initiative fully embodies the spirit of the trade without boundaries, embodied within the African Continental Free Trade Area, and reflects Afreximbank's enduring commitment to Africa, to Africa's economic integration, transformation, value addition, and deeper integration into the global economy. To conclude, allow me to reaffirm on behalf of the African Ambassadors Group our unwavering support to this iconic project. We remain confident that the All-African Trade Center will stand as a beacon of cooperation, partnership, shared prosperity for Africa, Egypt, and the international community. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Labarang, for your remarks. And now we need to get a feel of what the AATCs are. We invite you now to turn your attention to the screen for a brief video highlighting the mandate and vision of the African Trade Centre Network. an extremely promising project. Behind it all is Afreximbank and the governments of the African countries that are part of this project. Ladies and gentlemen, to highlight the financial and monetary dimensions of this milestone, it's my honor to invite His Excellency Mr. Hassan Abdullah, Governor of the Central Bank of Egypt, to deliver his remarks.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt, His Excellency Dr. George Elumbi, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Afrexim, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We gather today at a pivotal event to celebrate the groundbreaking for promising future for our beloved continent. The launch of the African Trade Centre, which includes the largest headquarters of Afreximbank in the new administrative capital, represents a great achievement and a living testament to our profound belief in the unity of the African destiny. This marks a legacy spanning more than 30 years of fruitful cooperation and partnership. This event also demonstrates the resilient relationship with Afrexim and the value of continuity and consistency in policy and strategic direction of the bank. Egypt is proud to be founding contributor and the host of Afrexim. I would also like to congratulate the leadership of Afreximbank for achieving this critical milestone and have taken this step to build its presence in the new administrative capital. And I commend Afreximbank for choosing to invest hundreds of millions of dollars developing the planned 150,000 square meter ultra-modern facility that will stand tall on this land. The new administrative capital was conceived and built not only to relieve congestion in Cairo governorate, but also to create a diverse national economy and enhance the efficiency of government services, making it more responsive to local and foreign economic actors. This step reflects the strength of the collaboration and partnership between Egypt and Afrexim. With this project, Afrexim will be joining Egypt in building a modern city for its people and in showing the world that with courage, determination, Africa can develop its own infrastructure and economy. For more than 3 decades, Afrexim has evolved into a world-class African institution that has always embodied excellence, innovation, and resilience. Guided by the successive leaders of the bank, stands to support the transformation of the African continent through trade finance, industry building, and unlocking the immense potential of the intra-African trade. Afrexim has been a supportive economic ally and partner that has contributed to strengthen Egypt's trade and investment relations with the rest of the continent. It has also supported Egypt's development aspirations, which recognize the pivotal role of African content in the global economy. Your Excellencies and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Afreximbank African Trade Centre, AATC, in Egypt's new administrative capital is a strategic beacon and a major hub of paramount importance at both the national and continental levels. The center solidifies Egypt's position and identifies the continental gateway for trade, thereby enhancing its role as a strategic link and bridge connecting North Africa with the rest of the continent and facilitating the movement of goods and services. It is also considered as a center for innovation and knowledge and finance through hosting advanced platforms for commercial and market information that help businesses make informed decisions about continental expansion. Capacity building by providing spaces for training, research, and innovation for African entrepreneurs and institutions. Supporting implementation of the Continental Free Trade Area by serving as a meeting point and destination for Africa's largest trade and investment events in alignment with the ambitions of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. In light of the changing global economic and geopolitical dynamics, the integration of the African continent is of utmost importance and is the path of achieving sustainable development and prosperity for the continent people. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis has mentioned, is Hassan Allam around? Well, Dennis has mentioned, Ya Abu Ali. It's a pleasure. We are proud of your company and doing all its activities in Africa, but Dennis has mentioned that he wants it on budget and at time. Being Egyptian and knowing how we work, then we request from you lower budget, faster time. How? I don't know, but that's one of the Egyptian attributes. Thank you, Hassan. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we all know that bricks and mortar would never cut it alone. And it's an enabler. The real are humans. And this, I would like to show my appreciation to Afrexim staff and to the leadership, Dr. Urama, who has started the vision, and to my brother, George, who's carrying now the torch, and we'll give him all the support, and I would like to thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. We always want projects to be done in a very fast manner and with the lowest cost possible. That's an Egyptian attribute. Ladies and gentlemen, a gentle reminder to put your phones on silent so that we can listen properly to the important information that our distinguished speakers are sharing today. Thank you very much for your understanding. So, you may be wondering, why are we embarking on this journey of trading without boundaries and building solid commercial capital across global Africa? It's now my privilege to invite Dr. George Elombi, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Afreximbank, to talk to us about it.
Maybe I should begin where I was going to end. It was at the very last page of my statement here, but I'll take it to the front. It is the reference to Hassan Alam and the completion of this project. When we saw the head of state about 3 weeks ago, he repeated this project 3 times. Before we left him, we made a promise. So be very, very, I'd like you to be mindful that before long, if he doesn't call you himself, he's going to get some of his generals to find out from you why you cannot do it in 30 months and below budget. So as the governor said, we will give you the full attention. We will not delay your payments by 1 hour, if it could have been done 30 minutes earlier, so that you have no basis for telling the head of state, but Afreximbank delayed my payment for 1 hour. So you have to do this on time, before time. That's in 30 months. I am very convinced that's what he would say to you. And you also have to do it slightly below budget. I know it was a tough negotiation. Your Excellency, Right Honorable the Prime Minister, Mustafa Madbouli, Mr. Hassan Abdallah, Governor of the Central Bank, Honorable Ministers here present, Your Excellencies, the Dean, the Ambassadors, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Your Excellency, the Dean of the African Group, Ambassadors Group in Cairo in particular, members of the Board of Directors of Afreximbank, here seated at the front, Professor Orama, the leaders of the new Capital Authority, captains of industry, Hassan Alam, gentlemen of the press, ladies and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we most thank you for attending this groundbreaking ceremony of Afreximbank of our African Trade Centre, the AATC, in this new capital city. It will be a new trade center in a new capital. Earlier this year, specifically in March, we were in Bridgetown, just across the Atlantic, in Barbados, and that was to mark the commencement of the construction of the Afreximbank Trade Centre there in Barbados to cover Africa in the diaspora. A month later, the bank then formally opened and started operations at the Abuja Afreximbank African Trade Centre. There is steady progress being made as we speak in Harare, which has suffered a little delay, has some alarm. Here, they will not allow that delay. But we have the undertaking of the contractor there that that project will be completed in June of next year. That's the same situation in Kampala, which is moving in steady progress and on time. In some time, these Afreximbank African Trade Centers will be completed by new ones in Tunis, in Tunisia, Abidjan, and Yaoundé. The center that we will be completing here, which Hassan Malam will be helping us to complete here in 30 months, will be the mother of all the AATCs. These developments, they reflect the character of Afreximbank that we seek at all times to back words with actions. The sacrifices, they also reflect the sacrifices of African states and African heads of governments, Your Excellency. The governments in their commitment to Afreximbank. Prime Minister, we have to thank you for being here. That's proof of that commitment. We'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the head of state and the leaders of the continent who have shown belief in the institution they created. But this, above all, also reflects the courageous and determined leader in the person of our own brother, Professor Benedict Okechukwu Orama, who sits right in front of us here. As you know, this was your vision, and together, staff, board, we stand to continue that vision. We believe that with time, you will be proud of the outcome of it, for that building and what it represents will become much bigger than who you are. Our presence here is therefore owed to your commitment to our continent. As you stated at the start of this initiative and others, the AATCs are a concrete solution to a unique challenge, the lack of knowledge of our African markets about our own continent. And that has been a major obstacle to the promotion of our trade. The AATCs are intended not simply to accommodate the expansion of the bank, but also to address that very lack of the flow of information, a challenge that has confounded the growth of our continent and African trade and investments for over 7 decades. The project will be completed contractually within 36 months. Let me make you relax. But as we know, it will have to be done for 30 months. And it will create approximately 8,000 direct jobs during the construction phase here at the new capital. And on completion, within the first 2 years, it would hold about 1,000, 2,000 employees within that building, existing and new. The Twin Tower, new capital city, which you see in the model, will position Egypt as a trade hub for this continent. It will house technology and small and medium-sized enterprises incubation centers, digital African trade gateway, which will offer information, customer due diligence, payments, and other digital services. It will also come with a conference and exhibition facilities to boost the tourism and create jobs for local Egyptians. Above all, this trade center will significantly enhance Egypt's economic and diplomatic relations with Mother Africa. Afreximbank has so far disbursed over $41 billion into the Egyptian economy, and that has helped to increase investments in strategic sectors such as energy, telecom, financial services, construction, tourism, and manufacturing, while at the same time, it has carried forward Egypt's own trade, impact, and investments to other parts of the continent. And Afreximbank, in doing so, has helped Egyptian entities to capitalize on growing investment opportunities across Africa. It has helped them to secure and execute projects in several countries, and those include countries in global Africa, in the wider Caribbean. Let me therefore take this opportunity to thank Governor Hassan Abdallah for the work that the central bank does with the Afreximbank to enhance the activities of Egyptian companies across the African continent and in global Africa. Would like to thank you again, Governor, and your team for the extraordinary collaboration that the Afreximbank's team received in seeing this project to this particular stage. We also thank the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Ambassador Bart, please take this message to him, that we thank him very much and his officers for making the stay of Afreximbank staff in Cairo extremely comfortable. We must also thank the Honorable Ministers of International Cooperation, of Finance, of Trade, for the work that they do with Afreximbank, not only here, but for the engagements we have with them at different fora. It is evidence of the importance that the government sees in developing its economic and diplomatic cooperation with its sister countries in the continent. The presence here of the African Diplomatic Corps in very large numbers, led by their Dean, Dr. Mohamedou Labarang of Cameroon, is proof of the state of that relationship which Egypt has with the sister continents in the continent. We thank the ambassadors for coming. We plead with you to do all that which is between your pens and your diplomatic language to ensure that that relationship is made stronger. We also, as I close, would like to extend our thanks to those who made this project, brought it this far. AHAF consulting engineers who have assisted us in the careful process of selecting the Hassan Alam. It was a very tough process. It involved about 6 companies, and AHAF engineers had a very tough time being pushed around by very massive companies with big muscles, but standing very firm on what the principles of good company, corporate competition all about. We would like to thank you for that most sincerely, together with Crane Consulting, Atara, and Cresco Financial Advisories. These were leading companies that made it possible for us to get to the selection of Hassan Maslam itself. But above all, we would also like to thank the 5 other companies which did not make it to the very final award. The competitive bids that they put were what enabled us to get to the tough negotiation that we had with Hassan Maslam about 3 weeks ago when we concluded this very facility. Your Excellency, I must thank everyone for coming and for spending this time to listen to us. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Ilombi. So 36 months, we're talking almost 3 years for completion. 30, so less than 3 years. That's great, unless we get more work, done in a shorter time period. We'll see. Thank you very much for putting us into the latest regarding this project. We now present a short video offering an overview of the AATC Cairo design and the new Afreximbank headquarters here in the new capital. Amr and Hassan Allam Construction will lead the construction and development work, while the distinguished architectural design and project supervision are entrusted to EHAF consulting engineers, and as you will see, they're green buildings, so it's a truly marvelous project.
African Export-Import Bank is a Pan-African, supranational, multilateral financial institution created in 1993, dedicated to promoting and financing intra- and extra-African trade. The bank has set out to establish African trade centers across Africa, dubbed the Afreximbank African Trade Centre, AATC. This special initiative is meant to support bank efforts to bridge the trade information gap in global Africa. When complete, AATC Cairo will be a state-of-the-art trade center in the diplomatic zone of Cairo's new administrative capital, built on a 48,888 square meter prime piece of land. The trade center shall host Afreximbank's new headquarters, provide lettable office space, a 4-star 117-room apart hotel, conference, exhibition, restaurants, parking, retail, to offer an iconic, one-stop shop, mixed-use modern business experience. The Cairo AATC will be developed as a smart, green building, targeting LEED Gold certification under the Green Building Certification Institute.
Distinguished guests, it's now my profound honor to welcome His Excellency Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt, to share his vision for the future of trade, investment, and economic development in Africa.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. His Excellency Mr. Hassan Abdallah, Governor of the Central Bank of Egypt, His Excellency Dr. George Ilombi, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Afreximbank, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today marks a historic milestone in Egypt's partnership with Afreximbank, a partnership rooted in trust, shared purpose, and a vision for Africa's economic renaissance. The establishment of the Afreximbank African Trade Centre, AATC, in Egypt's new capital reflects Egypt's important role in driving continental economic integration and trade facilitation. As the host country of the Afreximbank's global headquarters, Egypt is proud to deepen this collaboration through a landmark facility that will serve as a hub for trade intelligence, capacity building, innovation, and continental connectivity. We do believe that the integration of Africa as a continent is profoundly important for its future prosperity and global standing. This integration aims to form a unified market that will significantly host intra-African trade and investment. This unified market facilitates economics of scale, drives industrialization, and encourages the development of regional value chain, helping the continent move away from its historical reliance on exporting raw commodities. Furthermore, integration enhances Africa's collective bargaining power on the global stage, attracts foreign direct investment, and it is crucial for addressing shared challenges like poverty reduction, job creation for its youth population, and the development of much-needed cross-border infrastructure such as roads and power networks. Ultimately, continental integration is a key to achieving sustainable, inclusive growth and securing Africa's rightful position as a major player in the global economy. Ladies and gentlemen, strong African economic alliances are vital for Egypt's continued prosperity and sustainable development. Economically, these partnerships open up vast, growing African consumer markets for Egyptian exports, helping to diversify foreign currency earnings and significantly boost trade through agreements like the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. In addition, Africa offers lucrative investment opportunities for Egyptian companies in key sectors like construction, energy, and telecommunications, while cooperation with continental financial institutions provide critical project funding. Strategically, these alliances reinforce Egypt's status as a gateway hub linking Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. They are also crucial for managing critical transboundary issues and ensuring energy security through regional grid connections. Ultimately, deepening economic ties with Africa partners is a crucial strategy for Egypt to ensure long-term sustainable growth and solidarity, and solidify its integration with African countries. In this regard, Afreximbank has always been one of Egypt's financial partners, supporting national priorities across all major sectors. This has been especially important during challenging global periods, the economic reforms, COVID-19, and Russian-Ukrainian war. The partnership between Egypt and Afreximbank cover extensive ground, supporting Egypt company involvement in engineering, procurement, and construction projects across at least 15 other African countries. Simultaneously, the bank provides major financing for diverse industrial ventures, including sugar, petrochemicals, tire, and steel manufacturing. Additionally, in the energy sector, offering finance for petroleum trade, storage, and strategic cross-border projects like pipeline connectivity and Suez Canal economic zone infrastructure. Afreximbank has also played a key role in Egypt's health security through the supply of 26 million vaccine doses under the Africa-wide AATC initiative, supporting national and continental pandemic response capabilities. Moreover, the bank, in collaboration with Egypt as an anchor buyer in a continental program to boost agricultural production, processing, and food trade across Africa, this strengthens Egypt's role in supplying fertilizers and basic commodities. The Afreximbank's Free Trade Center, AATC, is envisioned as a distinguished center that will host trade information and market intelligence platforms, providing training, research, and innovative spaces for African businesses. The center will also serve as a convening venue for Africa's largest trade and investment events, aligns with Africa Continental Free Trade Area ambitions in this regards. Positioned in the news capital, the center reinforces Egypt's identity as a continental gateway for investment, commerce, and diplomacy. The center complements Egypt's role as the host of Afreximbank headquarters, founding member of the bank, and an advocate for African Continental Free Trade Agreement and area, and the implementation of this very important agreement for all African nations. I thank you all.
Thank you, Your Excellency. As you truly mentioned, the continental integration is key for Africa. It's a matter of life or death. Thank you again for your leadership and your vision and honoring us with your valuable presence. And with this, we conclude the first part of the ceremony. We'd like to acknowledge the efforts by Afreximbank, by the government, represented by the highest representative for it, the Prime Minister of Egypt, and also the private sector. And let me acknowledge also the great leaps and achievements that have been done in the administrative capital, and acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Engineer Khaled Abbas, who's overlooking the work in the administrative capital. Thank you again, and we would like to ask you all to remain seated as we prepare for the second part of this ceremony. شكرا جزيلا معالي رئيس الوزراء. السيدات والسادة، نحن نعد الآن لبدء المراسم الخاصة بالجزء الثاني من هذا الحفل لإطلاق المركز التجاري. وطبعا نحن ندعوكم بعد الانتهاء من المراسم أن تأخذوا نظرة على المكات أو النموذج الموجود هنا، لأنه يصور كل جزء في هذا المشروع. شكرا لكم، وسنكون معكم بعد لحظات. رجاء البقاء في المقاعد لأننا نجهز لبقية المراسم في خلال لحظات معدودة. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly remain seated. We will proceed in a few moments. Thank you very much for your understanding. And the second part will be a short one, so I invite you to stay put until we get through this part. Thank you again. Oh. Yeah, I know. Lady, I know. We now proceed to the official ground breaking ceremony. And we will be having the photos. We invite Afreximbank board members and EVPs and the esteemed members of the cabinet, as well as the CEOs of Amr and Hassan Alam and IHAF to join Dr. Ilombi and Mr. Hassan Abdallah for this photo. Thank you. We'd also like to invite engineer Khaled Abbas. إذن هذا هو الإطلاق الرسمي للمشروع بحضور الدكتور جورج إيلومبي رئيس أفريكسم بانك الأستاذ حسن عبد الله محافظ البنك المركزي المصري، المهندس خالد عباس رئيس شركة العاصمة الإدارية الجديدة، بالإضافة إلى كبار الرؤساء التنفيذيين في بنك أفريكسم، وأيضا ممثلي القطاع الخاص المصري والقطاع الخاص الأجنبي الذين يشاركون في هذه المشروعات الهامة. Okay, we'd like to just ask Mr. Hassan Abdullah, Dr. Ilambi, Professor Orama, and Dr. Labarang for a group photo. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for this part.
كده ادتني الهاند خلاص.
Just announced at the end of the event. Yeah.
Hello again. I hope you did follow up what's going on outside and the official groundbreaking of the project. It's truly marvelous. And as Dr. Ilambi mentioned, we are almost 3 years far from finishing the project. We now invite you, our distinguished guests, to join us for a reception and light refreshments. We hope you will enjoy this time to connect, exchange thoughts, and celebrate today's milestone together. We thank you for honoring this occasion with your presence, and we wish you a pleasant evening. And I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that you can get a photo, a group photo outside, where we have the backdrop of the project, and it will be truly an interesting memory to keep for years to come. Thanks again, and we hope to see you soon.